Once we had a dream, then we got a team. Now we have the Bar SC Dream Team.
Howdy, and welcome to the Bar SC Ranch, where you will experience our journey of running a family business, caring for animals, and doing life together. Subscribe now and be inspired here at the Bar SC.
Well, we're so excited. 6 years after being in business, we have an amazing team that has gotten to where we are today. One thing we like to do on the ranch is make sure that we carve out time for the Dream Team to go play and have fun together. Though we work together, we also try to play together. So there's a number of videos coming up. The first one is us enjoying the river, going for a float. So check out this video, enjoy.
Welcome to River Day!
All right, it's River Day at the Bar SC. We're so excited. We got our redneck rowboat, no oars, so you need to find some sticks to move down the river. There's enough water to float. Got a bit of a leak in it, so you can't stay too long. You might have to bail out some of the water, but gonna watch the kids, gonna float down on that. Thanks, Brother Matt, for the rowboat. And the lazy river is moving, so we got our tubes. We're gonna be able to jump in and do some floating down the river, cool off on this nice 85-degree, beautiful day at the ranch. So let's get floating.
Yay! It's not River Day without a unicorn!
It's our little anchor system here at the ranch. We don't really use anchors, we just use baling twine. And we tie the rafts to the wall, to the bridge, wherever we can find a tree, somewhere to anchor them in. So this is our redneck anchor system, so we can float but not float away while we're hanging out.
I literally dream about doing this. I love it so very much. I get my chair, I sit in the middle of the creek, I get whatever equine related magazine came in the mail. Today it would be the Horse Journal by the American Quarter Horse Association. And then I get my liquid chlorophyll. It's plants in a cup. Fantastic. should do that again. Here, Grace. Now you
Rematch! Rematch! On your marks! Get set! On your marks! Get set! Wait, I got it, guys! I got it! I watched you go under and he goes.
All right, well, that was so much fun out on the river. We love floating the river together and cooling off on a nice hot day. Because other times on hot days, we're doing this. We're unloading 2,000 pounds of feed and stocking the feed room. Check out this video.
Hey everyone, it's feed order day at the Bar SC Ranch. Just got back from town, took the horse trailer, picked up 2,000 pounds of groceries for our animals. It is a lot of food. We're gonna take you through unloading the trailer. It's a lot of work. You can imagine moving 2,000 pounds. So we got our whole team here today. We gotta get all the feed into the feed room. You'll get to see where it all goes. We'll sort it out. Michelle will take you through and the kids will take you through the feed room and show you all the different food for all the different animals. And yeah, we just thought we'd bring you in on the back end of what it looks like to get our room stocked for our animals. So here we go.
Feed day, unpacking day. We thought we'd take a break from pouring all of our just ordered feed into the bins and just give you a little tour of what our feed room looks like. So starting with the process, we have whiteboards on the walls that give the name of the different animals that we have on the ranch, and the whiteboards are actually split up by the way that the different animals are grouped on the ranch, making it a lot easier for people who are feeding to figure out what groups of buckets to make up at a specific time. And we'll take you through that at a later date if you would like to see that as well. But so this is what gets fed, what feeds, and then in our buckets are all of the labels for the different animals. So the mini pig food is on top, and then we do have a bag of bran on the bottom, so we know that that's in there. But mini pig food's here. We have our organic chicken feeds for our organic laying hens. We have senior feed for some older horses. We do keep track of different weights of our animals and their daily rate of gain. We'll take you through that someday as well, but we've got different charts for that. And then senior feed, we've got lots of senior feed. We've got lots of older horses that need good groceries. And then we supplement the senior feed with some rice bran. So we've got barrels of that. And then it comes over to chinchilla and bird food. We have pig feed for one of our very special pigs, Mrs. Bacon. And this is a sheep feed, umbarger. So that's one of our sheep feeds. We have a couple of them. We have show pig feed, we have beet pulp, and that gets added into the different feeds for the various animals as kind of an energy and fat making ingredient. We have the cow's food, so Shields gets her own feed, and this is another sheep feed for our show lambs. The sow gestation is for hogs that live here and they're just pets and we have fun with them. We have dairy goat feed for the dairy goats. And we call this feeder pig. This is for pigs that are younger. So these are ones that are growing. And we have duck and poultry crumble for the ducks and growing pullets that we have going on right now. And then we have layer pellets for the chickens that aren't on the organic laying feed, and chick starter for the baby chicks, and more Mrs. Bacon feed over there. So she happens to be a pig that we're raising for somebody else. But the reason all of the feeds need to be in separate labeled containers are that you could have a very serious problem if you feed the wrong feed to the wrong animal. So For instance, if you were to feed sheep goat food, that could actually end up killing your sheep because the copper content is incorrect. Thankfully, a lot of other things aren't that critical, but definitely certain animals like that are critical is why we keep them very well labeled and have the exact amounts on our board. So that is our, oh, I didn't say, all of our supplements for our animals are over here. Cat foods, for our, mostly the cats that come from the SPCA from Monterey County. They get supplemented with a little wet food, scoops and buckets that all get washed. Oh, and Maddie wanted me to show you the most enormous selection of graham crackers and jet puff marshmallows. In case you happen to have expired graham crackers or marshmallows, our pigs love them. So that's why we have so many. All right. Thanks for coming and seeing our tour of our feed room.
Bombs away! So now that Michelle has given you the tour of our feed room, Maddie and I are here to discuss why we keep the lids on all of our buckets. And the number one reason is rodents. As clean as you keep your barn, you know, there's still, you're never going to close up every hole. There are going to be rodents around. And the way to keep them from deciding that this is going to be their new home is by keeping the food out of their reach. If they know that they've got, you know, a 4-course meal, a buffet every day, they're going to take up shop in your feed room. No matter how many cats you have in your barn. So what we do is we keep lids on all of them. We remove the lid. They're not latched. We just have them sitting on here. We remove the lid when we need the food and just cover it right back up again when we're done. And that keeps, especially, you know, our ceiling here is just the top of the barn. And so if birds were to make a nest up there or any kind of dust or bugs or spiders or anything like that that might be found in a barn, which is basically just an extension of the outdoors, this lid keeps it out of our animals' food and keeps anything that those animals may have eaten from contaminating our food, because you never know what might be going on in your wild ecosystem. You don't really want to be feeding that to your domesticated animals. Another thing we do to keep our food safe and our animals safe, really important biosecurity practice, is to wash your buckets. If not every day, then every several days, and using a cleaner that's going to kill any bacteria, any fungus, anything growing in there that you don't want to be feeding back to your animals every time. We use chlorhexidine and other rinses like that just to clean out our buckets. We like to do it every day and keep them really clean. This one might need a little bit of a wash. What do you think, Maddie?
Yep.
That needs clean? Well, we'll start with this one next.
What a great ranch fit opportunity. Unload and feed is a great way to build strength out on the ranch. But sometimes we don't want to work and we don't want to feed the animals. We want to push them around on the grass. So this next video, check it out. It's a rotational grazing video.
Hey, here we are all together getting ready to rotate our animals, do some holistic grazing. So we're going to show you a little bit the practices that we use to help rotate our sheep and our goats throughout the entire campground here to maximize the natural resources of grasses, hopefully to do some weed eating, which then I don't have to do with the weed eater or Colton. So we're going to put these sheep to work. We're going to show you how we move panels and the benefits of using rotational grazing to feed your animals and manage your ground. So hang with us. Let's get rolling.
Okay, so today we're moving actual panels. Normally when we do rotational grazing, we would use hot wire fence. When I say we, that would not be us. We have a guest business where we invite people to come to the ranch and stay with us, and hot wire and guests are not always a good combination. So we usually actually do very little rotational grazing, and we feed our animals more hay that we purchase from the feed store or from other ranchers. But obviously at this time, when we need to utilize more of the grass that's growing, we are using our arena panels. So these are very lightweight panels, relatively lightweight panels, that normally comprise our outdoor rodeo and roping and barrel racing arena. And we've brought it out here to our campground, and we are making pens for the goats and sheep to be in. The downfall to this paneling is that our sheep are actually quite wily and they're very strong. So
They're
a lot
loose
of them,
all the time.
yeah, a lot of them are over 300 pounds because they're full-grown big sheep, and they can just lift the panels up. So once we put the panels out, we actually have to put T-posts into the ground and wire them hard to those T-posts. If you saw at the beginning of the video, none of the enclosures were in squares like they had originally been, because even with the T-posts, the animals managed to push them around and reconfigure them.
This year is geometry, so they were practicing their different shapes.
It's so
I don't know what shape
annoying.
they were going for. It's not one that I'm aware of, but
Sometimes it makes us want to give up because it's so hard to keep them enclosed.
Yes.
And then keep them actually grazing the area that we want. So we're hoping to get the grass down to, I don't know, about an inch off the ground, or I'm sorry, like 2 inches off the ground, at a good healthy level so that it'll grow back really quickly once we move the livestock off of it onto a new patch of grass.
goats and sheep are way better for the ground than horses. Horses kill the ground and the grass. Goats and sheep, you can actually get it to grow back again.
So
if you
not
manage
only
it.
do they not pull the plants out by the roots because they have a dental pad on the top. We'll show you that in another video where the sheep don't actually have top teeth, but they also have the cloven hooves which aerate the soil.
Like two toes.
So we're here with our goats and sheep, and we have some different kinds of goats and sheep in here. So we have Legolas, and he's the big four that's closest to the fence. Then we have Lovebug with the pink collar. We have Kit and Kat are the two babies, and their mom is Caramel, kind of the tan-colored goat, and their dad is Legolas. And then we have Luke and John, and they're Katahdin hair sheep that we bottle raised we got them when they were about 2 days old.
So we're standing at a dividing line between an area that we had goats and sheep in about 5 or 6 days ago and an area that has yet to be grazed by the goats and the sheep. So you can see a lot of this is new growth actually. So they had eaten it down a bit further than this by about an inch or two actually to the ground and before we move them. So we move them before they've killed off all of the grass. You can see a little area right there. And that's what happens when they're grazing on an area and it's rainy. So that's not as great for the ground, but of course we can't tell it not to rain. And the rain is what really helped this section start to grow back again and start to grow up. And so this is what we've been putting the goats out on. That's not ideal because of the rain. And this is what we're looking for right here is that perfect level of they ate most of it down, but there's a lot of area for it to then grow back up again. And Kylie's gonna show you Luke's teeth to explain how it is that the goats and sheep are so good for the ground.
Yeah, so if you wanna come in a little closer, you can actually see that he only has one set of teeth. So he has bottom teeth, but no top teeth. Now, this is really helpful for grazing because as the sheep and goats are eating the grass, they aren't pulling the whole root out of the plant. They're just pulling off the tips of the grass. And that's really good because then the grass can regrow.
So horses, they have teeth on both the top and the bottom. So they actually grab, and if you watch a horse eat, they'll pull it up by the root. You'll see, dirt hanging off the bottom, clumps of dirt, because they've actually pulled it up. And that's, grass that will never grow back again. If you've pulled it up by the root, it's just like how you weed. It's not going to grow back. Goats and sheep, never are doing that. They're always just trimming the top. It's like taking a lawnmower over your grass versus digging it all up with a shovel. One, it's gonna grow back. The other one, have no more lawn. Another thing, Kylie, do you want to show them Luke's foot?
Yeah.
You'll see that Luke has two toes, which is way better for the ground. So they actually, if you've ever heard of aeration that people will do on their lawn, it allows water to seep through, it allows air to seep through, minerals and vitamins into your lawn if you aerate it, which means poke a bunch of little tiny holes. And Luke's feet, all kinds of goats and sheep hooves are the exact same way. They have two little holes that are basically little aerators. It's like they're going around aerating your ground all the time. Whereas a horse has a big circular foot that's very flat on the bottom. And so they pack the dirt down. They pack the dirt down. Nothing can grow back up. It's like walking around and stomping around all in your dirt and then expecting your seeds to be able to grow back through this really hard packed in surface. It's not good for the ground. So not only do they dig it up by the root, but then they pack it all into the ground and nothing can grow again.
So really not good grazers.
No. So if we put horses out here, we'd maybe get one lap around and then we wouldn't be able to then put them back on the same area like this. In a few weeks when we've gone around the whole pasture, the goats and sheep can go right back out here and it's gonna be wonderful for them. They're gonna have a whole bunch of food again. If they were horses, that wouldn't be the case.
All right, well, since we're not using hot wire and we're having to be scrappy and innovative and use our horse panels, unfortunately they're very light panels, and 300 some pound goats and sheep do a great job at removing the panels and just taking them and throwing them off the hinges and dumping them on the ground. So we're having to pound T-posts, and every time we move the panels, as you can see, there's some T-posts here that we're marking the edges. We got to put a T-post at every corner. So we got this handy dandy little picket puller. So these are called pickets. We got a picket puller. This is our picket pounder. So Colton will pull the picket and take it over to the new arena over there, and I'll take this big old heavy deal and put it over the top and pound the pickets in. And we'll put pickets at every corner and wire them in, and hopefully the goats and sheep won't get out. Hope you enjoyed that last video. It was an opportunity for us to try to utilize all the grasses we had this spring and feed all of our animals with the natural resources. You know, we so appreciate our dream team. We've got an amazing group of workers that have come together, family, friends, now all family. They really make it happen. Michelle and I are so thankful for what's become just an amazing team. And you can see in these videos, we like to play together, we like to work together. We just have a lot of fun, work or play, it doesn't really matter. That's what makes our team the dream team.
If you enjoyed this video, we'd love to hear from you. Like and subscribe and leave us comments about what you might like to see in future episodes. We'll see ya back on the ranch.